So I'm delighted to be with Daniel, who is the writer of Company Policy. Daniel, welcome back to Oranmore.
It's a delight to be back.
You've been very, very busy since you first started working with me at Oranmore. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in between times.
Okay, since I got my big break at Oranmore, I've written a couple of plays that Borderline have produced. One was called The Wall, and the other one was its sequel, The Ducky.
I saw them both at Strong.
Oh, and did you enjoy them?
In all honesty, this is a mutual, this is a mutual admiration.
And I spent about a year at the Royal Court as writer in residence there.
Was that interesting?
It was amazing. It was a life-changing experience. I'm writing a play for them, which I still haven't finished. But
What was so good about it?
I felt, I mean, to use a football metaphor, I kind of felt a bit like I'd been, drafted to go and play for Manchester United or something. Because also I'm very Scottish, and I always kind of existed in a little Scottish bubble, and I kind of was only dimly aware of what went on outside Scotland, and then to find myself there and then find out about the history of the theatre, and yeah, I mean it was pretty life changing. Just an amazing opportunity.
And was it helpful in the sense of did you get time to do other things?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been a bit slow recently. The stuff coming through the pipes has been a bit congested, but I mean, I wrote quite a lot when I was there. And I mean, it was a bit like being at a kind of theatrical boot camp as well. I mean, they've got a really good literary department, and they really helped me think about my writing and can make me more ambitious for my writing.
Right.
And it's just an exclusively positive experience. And I mean, the theatres in Sloane Square in Chelsea as well, and my God, to be able to work in Chelsea every day, I mean, it's, like now that I'm back in Glasgow, it's only now that it's sort of dawning on me what an exciting opportunity that was, and how much fun it was.
Yes, right. So you've been at the Manchester United theatres, and
now
you're back in East Fife.
No, I'd say, well, come on. I'd say it's like, come on,
okay,
I think that's praise.
Oranmore equals come on.
Yeah.
What is it about, I mean, you don't have to come back to Oranmore and write a play. What is it about this particular format that you like, you enjoy?
I think there's nowhere like it in the world, and in some ways I think it spoiled me having two plays on Oranmore before I had any plays on anywhere else, because there's no other theatre that will put on an unknown writer and have like upwards of 100 people every day to see the show, and yes, that was amazing. And I mean, I just love the kind of bare bones theatricality of working at Oranmore. I feel like oftentimes the more money people have, the more money they waste, and the more kind of distractions get involved. And I feel like when you're working at Oranmore, it's all about the work, it's all about the writing and about the actors, and that's why everyone loves theatre, is those kind of reasons. And so it's just, I mean, I can't say enough nice things about Oranmore. I love working here, I love going to see the shows.
Tell us a little bit about Company Policy.
Okay, calling it screwball comedy, I feel like it's maybe making a rod for my own back. I'm always, even though I suppose it feels like I mainly write comedies, I'm always very hesitant to call them comedies, because I always think that it sets the expectation level unnaturally high. Like, if you call it comedy, people are going to expect a laugh, and it's maybe better to sneak the laughter in.
But actually, I've just been to a read-through of the play, and this is very funny, but it also has something of the comic strip about it.
I think it's probably fair to say it's sort of like a pastiche or an homage of those kind of 50s screwball comedies. I love those films, and Kenny Miller, who's directing and designing it, and I had always talked about how much we both loved those kind of films. And I mean, that's another great example.
So we're in Doris Day territory.
Yeah, those kind of Doris Day, other kind of Catherine Hepburn ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's another wonderful thing I think about Oranmore, is that Kenny and I had long discussed this idea, but there's nowhere else that would let you do it. Because I think people are so concerned with worthiness. I find the theatrical world is kind of sometimes quite hard to do popular work, and I think that's one of the great things.
Do you think sometimes people take, let's say, tragedy more seriously than comedy? I think it's more difficult, more important, and more worthy.
I think absolutely that's true, which is kind of peculiar. And I think that's partly why, in some senses, theatre's in a bit of trouble because people seem to be, you know, kind of more keen in doing that kind of stuff. And I think fundamentally it's a night out or an afternoon out, and I think people like to laugh and like to be distracted.
John McGrath wrote that famous book, A Good Night Out, and always stressed the importance of engaging with the audience. Now, I don't obviously you can engage with a serious subject, but sometimes you feel that comic writing is dismissed as lesser.
Yeah, and I think the same thing's true about comic acting. I think people who are really gifted comic actors don't get the credit that, you know, people smearing themselves in excrement and crying for half an hour. And you think, well, I mean, I think most of us know that if you're a gifted comic actor, you can generally do serious as well. Whereas serious actors
doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
And I think for company policy, I think we're really lucky that we have three phenomenal actors. You just saw them. I mean, I can't imagine a better cast for it. Like they're all
very exciting.
They're all police, and exciting as well because the three actors who are in it: Lisa Gardner, Richard Conlon, and Johnny Austin. Richard Conlon was in my very first play at Lisa Gardner was in my second, and Johnny Austin had a cameo in my third Oran Moore in the Wing. And it's just I've wanted to work with them all
again. Put the whole team together again.
So it's just polite.
So, what about future plans? You're doing the third part of your trilogy for Borderline.
Yeah, so in September, Borderline are going to tour my play, which is going to be called The Cheeky Brave, which is the final part of the Stuart trilogy. I think we're calling it.
I hear that you've been nominated for an award.
Oh, David, it's embarrassing me that. I've been nominated for a Radio Clyde Scottish Sun Scottish Variety Award.
Oh, great! And can the public vote for you?
They can.
How do they do it?
You can do it either on the Scottish Sun's website or the Radio Clyde website, or a quick Google for Scottish Variety Awards. And I'm nominated in the category of Best New Writer.
Oh, great!
And I'm the only playwright who's nominated in the category, so I kind of feel like everyone likes the theatre should really be rallying behind my
Okay, well that's a very good point for me to say. You're going to have to vote for this man, and the only way that you can do it without blushing is to come and see his play. And we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks very much.